Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Top 8 Tactics. Today is going to be a pretty different game than I expected. A lot of times, you'll have games where you go in and you'll get initial items expecting to go something, and then you never get the rolls for it, and you have to improvise on the fly. This game will be kind of an example of that. This is a game that I go in and I want to go Rangers off my initial items. And Rangers are really powerful right now. Let's talk a little bit about the current meta. It's very demon infested, with half the lobby going like Eve stacking and half the lobby going, I would say, Rangers, give or take. And demons can kind of work with like anything. You can go Blade Master demons, you can go Mage demons. I've seen Assassin demons. It's all over the place. Shapeshifter demons. And so this is a game where I wanted to do that as well. So I think right now Recurve is super good with BF. You know, I said it before, Recurve is excellent, and BF is excellent as well. I want to say I actually think BF is a more flexible item. This is generally because I feel like BF can build into GA, and GA is the most flexible item in the game. I've pretty much never at any point during any composition said to myself, wow, I really wish I didn't have a GA, or I really wish I had something else rather than this GA. GA is flexible in assassins and rangers and shapeshifters and mages, elementalists. Like, GA just lets you get your ultis off and lets you consistently have like a stronger front line. And stronger front line tends to be like what you want in any comp you're given. So yeah, GA is pretty much the best item in the game. Also in the current meta, remember I talked about it's very demon centric. In terms of items that got a lot better in this meta, Dragon's Claw is really good. So double Negatron is worth a lot right now because Eve tends to jump to your backline, and the way you beat Eve is you just put your backline there with magic immunity, whether it's dragon like synergy or actually Dragon's Claw. Eve can't kill through Dragon's Claw, so she can't heal that much, and she takes so long to kill your backline that like your backline can just do enough damage to kill everything else. That's what happens in theory. Anyways, I go ahead and take the Recurve, and it's really flexible. Shivs are really good with a lot of different compositions. RFC is really good in a lot of different compositions. Like, I'm very happy. Rageblade, right now the optimal items for Rangers, there's a Korean version of Ash items, which are Rageblade, Rageblade, Shiv, and Dragon's Claw. Dragon's Claw protects you from the backline divers as well as any magic damage sources like Ace Slow. Rageblade allows you to break the attack speed. Remember, this patch they buffed not only the Ranger synergy, but now you can break to 5.0 attack speed, which means Rageblade is worth a lot in terms of value because you can break that like 2.5 really easily as Rangers. I've seen 4.6 and 4.0, 3.0 really consistently throughout. We just do the classic opener here, and we put in 2 DPS. I don't know exactly what I'm going. Recently, I've been trying a lot for Gunslinger, Assassin games, and I don't know what is going on, but I kind of like going Gunslingers right now. I don't think it's super good, but it's really funny for me to play it. But like I said, most of the time, just keep your 2 cost unit in on the bench, and if you find gold, then that's great, you know? If you find gold, you're able to just sell your 2 cost unit and buy everything else. To be honest though, it's unlikely you run Lulu. Early mages is really difficult to run because you need AoE to make these mages work. I found an item and so I decided to sell out. Okay, yeah, you're not able to make early mages work mainly because mages require AoE. So generally speaking, unless you get like the Castan 2, RE2, and Morgana, or Castan 2, Morgana plus like, I don't know, TF opener, you'll pretty much never start 3 sorcerers ever in your life. Like, it's very rare. I probably started on average 1 in 40 games, maybe, and I've only played like 200 games of this game mode in my lifetime. That's how rare it is to start with a sorcerer opener. I don't know what I'm doing right now, so I'm trying to hold pieces, especially to start potentially nobles or knights. We have 3 knights here. I don't like holding Elise unless I'm looking for to go demons. I see the Varus in the shop, and I see this kind of opener. The problem is I got the last item, picked it up, and before I can even sell anything on my bench, boom, it's already rolled over. Because in this situation, I found both Shiv, pieces for Shiv and pieces for Ionic. So let's talk a little bit about Ionic before we start going on into buying the Darius here. So Ionic is actually not bad for Rangers. The reason why is Rangers tend to have Phantom in their composition, and when you have Phantom, you have to think to yourself, well, how is Phantom gonna how do you kill the Phantom unit? The Phantom leaves your unit at 125, 150 health. How do you kill that? Well, Shiv is how you kill it in one way, and Ionic's actually the other way to kill it. And so typically speaking, you'll have a Varus with an Ionic in your 4 Ranger comp, and it works out really, really well. In this situation, I add the Darius too. We have a lot of Knights. I'm thinking potentially we go 4 Knights plus Rangers, and I don't really know what I'm thinking about doing right now. So all I know is I'm debating whether or not I want to go Rageblade. And I think to myself, I think Shiv Ionic is better overall. It's more flexible and like more different comps. I'm able to be happy about everything I'm doing, and so I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead YOLO and throw it in. Really straightforward. Once you have this kind of item lead, like you want to try to push your item lead as much as possible, because when you start 4 items, it pretty much means when you get to over here, this one or the next creep round, you're gonna get 5 roll, and that means that like you want to be win streaking if possible. You want to be putting pressure on the other opponents in the board while they're still far behind. And at this point, I'm still not even sure what I'm doing yet. Like, am I gonna go nobles? Am I going like gunslingers? I'm holding some gunslingers with the idea maybe I could shift over. Even with these items, I'm like, you know what? Like maybe I can make it work. Spark isn't bad on Lucian. Typically speaking, you'll want to put Ionic on something that is can use the magic damage that the extra AP off of its like abilities. So like extra Varus Q damage is good, and additionally like extra Lucian damage is good. So it's something that may not be your primary damage carrier because there's better items for that, but something where you'll actually be happy about the extra AP that you get, which is why generally in Ranger comps, Ionic goes on the Varus. A really straightforward situation so far. We're just winning with a win streak. We built the Trist, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. We're kind of looking like, well, if we find more Lucians and maybe more Graves in the Pike, like maybe shift over to 4 Gunslingers. In the meantime, like I haven't found another Vayne. I'm still kind of waiting. The current, see another Lucian, we see another Pike, but we don't see anything else, and so I kind of don't really know what to do in this situation. The one thing I do have to say though is, we can have it keep playing. Ranger comps typically want Aatrox too, because your composition is usually Mordekaiser, Knight, Sejuani, Aatrox, and that's your level 7. Okay? I decided in this situation, because I wanted to maintain my win streak, and this is kind of a risky thing, because I have a two round win streak. I was gonna sell everything and push in the Lucian. Now I actually made a mistake here. I actually sold the Lucian, and I'm an idiot. Like looking at that, I'm like, huh. I should not have done that. Even if the Mordekaiser is necessary in the comp, it doesn't matter. Like giving up the Lucian pair is stupid, because Lucian is a unit that can hard carry in the mid game. So I should have sold Mordekaiser instead of Lucian. My bad. I'm a dumbass for sure. But notice that while we're doing this, like the extra Trist allowed us to get Gunslingers, and right now, like when you're first pick, you don't get choice of items. So a lot of times you'll have perfect item combinations. Like you'll really want like the Rageblade, Dragon's Claw, Rageblade, Dragon's Claw, Shiv, Ashe. But you shouldn't expect to get those if you're first place, because you get the scraps at the very end. So right now, I'm not really sure what I want. All I know is I probably want a Rageblade, so I would appreciate another recurve. And luckily in this situation, a recurve is left for me, so I'm very, very happy to sneak a recurve, a 2-cost recurve at the very, very end. Super, super happy. We'll toss it onto the unit that already has Shiv, which is the Vayne, and we're good to go, you know. But notice in this situation, I didn't buy the earlier Aatrox. You have to be really, really careful about buying 3-cost units in the stage 2. This is because buying 3-cost units will cause you to actually like crush your econ super, super badly. So unless you're not gonna, unless you're like not gonna econ that much, as in you're gonna level pretty immediately. For instance, I early leveled to 5 this game. I'm almost positive I'm gonna level to 6 as soon as possible. If that's what you're gonna end up doing, well then that's okay, because then you only be losing like 1 or 2 econ overall. But it's something to keep in mind that like if you do take 3-cost units, like it is very, very detrimental to you. And in this situation, we're just hoping we don't lose, but we have a lot of one-cost units, so I can definitely see a world where that does happen, you know? In this situation, I'm not even sure if I win this. I'm pretty sure I lose this. Cassian is really, really strong as a 1v1 unit, especially against someone with no items. Unfortunately, the shield doesn't get decreased in overtime, so you don't... I lost my win streak and I leveled, and I'm at 0 econ, so I feel pretty bad about this situation. You see I end up having 2 Aatroxes though, and me not buying the earlier Aatrox could have been perceived as something that wasn't that good. But in all honesty, I think it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not too sad about it, because I think in hindsight, like, this only looks good because I found the 2 Aatroxes here. But in reality, like, there's a lot of times and situations where I would just wait to get Aatrox till later, because especially when you're running Ranger comps without the Varus and without another demon, Aatrox is kind of underwhelming. And so I pick it up here after the loss. I'm not too upset about it, especially because I found the pair so quickly, and I pick up the Mordekaiser because, you know, it opens up 4 knights, and it opens up the possibility of Kindred and Rangers, because it's the optimal frontline with Sedge. So before we go any further, let's talk a little bit about what I just did. So I sold the Vayne here and put my units on Lucian. Now the reasoning is generally speaking, you don't stack the Ashe when it comes to Rangers. Getting her having a shitload of attack speed means she kills 1 unit faster. It doesn't CC the unit, doesn't kind of ulti or anything, so the extra mana is wasted, the extra attack speed that doesn't generate any mana. Usually what happens is all Rangers will stack Ashe. And at some point I was going to sell Vayne to stack Ashe anyways. Additionally, Lucian's currently bugged, right? Or I don't know, it's not bugged. He got a buff to his ulti where his Shiv now works off of his ulti. And so he's able to immediately proc Shiv with his ulti super quickly, to the point where Shiv Lucian is like incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. And so when you're looking to play and have like a throwaway unit, the backline unit that can use Shiv very, very well, Shiv and Ionic are both very, very well used on Lucian, and much better than, in my opinion, a single Vayne. We're still relatively powerful. Notice we got Gunslingers with the Triss too, something that we're probably going to throw away in the future. But now that we have the Shiv on Lucian, like, Lucian is just going to melt people. He does so much damage. I don't need a Lucian 2 for it. It's okay. Remember, when you're looking to build, or when you're looking to play the game, you really want to make your bench easy for you. So for me, it doesn't matter how you do it. For me, I put units that I want to use on the right, and the units I want to throw away on the left, that I can't throw away on the left. It's just something for you to mentally keep in mind. Organizing your bench, it makes it so you can roll a lot quicker in stressful situations, so you can roll down gold more. If you're caught in situations where your bench isn't organized, it sometimes becomes a little bit of a disaster. In this situation, we just pick up the other Fiora. I don't know where we're going. I know we're probably gonna have this current comp. I don't even know what we're gonna throw in next. Ideally, what ends up happening is we find the Poppy soon. I throw in the Mordekaiser, ditch Nobles, and we have the Lucian carry us for a little bit. But I haven't found any other, you know, Ranger, and I'm starting to get nervous because my original plan was to go Rangers, especially with the items I have. There's not many things that combine both Shiv and Ionic and do it very, very well. And so I don't know exactly what's going on. So I'm a little bit nervous, especially. And remember, we got 4 items on the first round, which means high likely chance we end up getting 5 gold right here. And we end up getting a recurve. Now this is really interesting. So we get 1 item, which is definitely above par. You don't want to make the RFC. If you're a Ranger comp, RFC isn't actually that good for you. Sure, it means you don't move, but you don't really care about that. You really care more about the Rage Blade or the Shiv, or even potentially like something else like the Shrink or something. So in this situation, like, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I do think I'm relatively strong. And so what happens here is actually something crazy. I was thinking about going Blade Masters here, because when you have bows, you tend to go Blade Masters really easily. And so in this situation, I was like, look, I really want to get Blade Masters, and I found the Poppy. And so, like, everything ended up being really, really strange for me in the sense that I found the 4 knights I wanted to go for. Cool. Put them in. I made a Shen 2, something that I really can't even use once I found the 4 knights. Because the Shen 2 would work well with the Aatrox to find 3 Blade Masters. But I'm not, like, again, I'm kind of thinking about going Rangers. And I see the Kindred here. I spent some serious time thinking, like, how important is this Kindred to me? and I think very important. I sell a Shen 2 for this Kindred. Um, and I messed up earlier for taking this, of course. So how important is this Kindred, you ask? Well, you're about to find out. I think in this situation, I've been running a lot of 6 Blade Master compositions, and I've also been running a lot of, I guess, 2 Gunslinger, 6 Blade Master comps with Game Planes, Camille, and Jinx. So it's kind of interesting that I have items that potentially could work toward that. And I decided in this situation, we're gonna put in the Kindred, and we're gonna try to figure out like how valuable is Kindred to us. And notice, I don't have Rangers. I've not found a single Ranger in this game. Actually, I'm Rangerless, and I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding a lot. And you start to realize that, like, especially from level 6, finding Kindred means that, like, they just have a unit that doesn't get to play the game. I've Shiv and Ionic, so if I proc on anything that casts a spell, like, they don't, on the backline, it just dies instantly, especially on the spell cast. And so I start to realize, wow, actually Kindred is worth a ton for me right now. And I saw the Triss to get interest. The entire time here, I just think to myself, like, what can I build with 2 recurves? Like, what can I build with this composition? What am I interested in? Am I going to go 6 Blade Masters? Am I going to go 3 Blade Masters? Am I going to transition to a Draven composition? And honestly, I didn't want to. So when I think about this, Draven compositions are actually pretty good right now. I think people really sleep on Draven at the moment, and I'm not sure why. So the entire time I'm just thinking to myself, do I make this? Do I make this? I don't know. We have the Darius 2 already. And right here, I switched to Poppy and the Garen positioning because you want the weakest unit to be in the bottom left. This is what the Assassins will jump on. This is what the Blitz will hook. And then I then put my unit a little bit over to the side so he's not immediately, I guess, pressured here. And right here, like, this is the first place player, or sorry, the third place player. And then I hit his main carry. And you know what? As soon as he ultis, Ionic is going to crush this person. And it's over. So, Ionic with Phantom, really good. Shiv with Phantom, really good. Combination of both, really good. So even if you're not going to go Rangers. So in this situation, like, hey, you know, I wasn't able to... I'm still not able to find Rangers. I'm still considering, like, do I go more Rangers? I don't know. But I'm leaving myself options open. So I have 4 Knights. With the build that I have, like, what do I really want? I'm first place. I don't super care about what's on the board right now. We're just kind of going to see what happens when the scraps are left up. So it's over here. We decide to pick up. This is my option to go Rageblade or not. Like, do I want to get 1 cost Rageblade? And I decide actually no. And as soon as I decide no here, not to get the Rageblade, and I already have a Shiv, that's pretty much key for me to say I'm more than likely not going Rangers, which of course is why the game gives me an Ashe here, just to mess with me. Notice, like, we don't have to sedge for the 4 Knight composition, and maybe we can even go like 6 Knights. I'm checking around, I'm really looking, I'm like, how many, I'm counting Dravens actually. How many Dravens do people have? Oh, they don't have any. They have, but how many Ranger players are there? Okay, well, there's a couple here. There's a couple here. And this is a Ranger player. It literally looks like 3. There's like 2 or 3 Assassin players, 2 or 3 Ranger players, and I found diddly squat. I found 1 Ashe, 1 Kindred. Am I going to commit to this? Probably not. I say this even though I have the Mordekaiser Kindred. I still don't think it's gonna happen. But I'm temporarily using Phantom with Ionic and Shiv to help me win spree in the mid game, and it's very, 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 very effective. Notice I've not lost a lot here. Like, I am almost 100% health. I've lost 1 game so far, and the Kindred Mordekaiser is really clutching it out for me. And as soon as I find this Draven, I think to myself, we're probably gonna go Draven. I find the Draven, I find Blade Masters. I'm not sure how many Blade Masters I'm running. Usually speaking, you want to be running at least 3. The 3 Opta ones are Yasuo, Draven, and X. X being kind of whatever you want. Usually it's Aatrox or Shen. And the reason Aatrox is good is because he has a 2 demon synergy with Swain. Something that you want to put in a super late game position. And I'm debating in this situation, like, do I replace Lucian or not? I'm not sure. I don't know if Lucian is that good or that bad right now. It's only a Lucian 1, and so, like, I'm doing, like, decently well, pretty well for all 1 cost units, and then I hit this guy, get slammed. This guy just murders me, which is super bad. I end up taking like 20 damage, but I have a 5-game win streak, and to be honest, personally for me, it's kind of expected that I was going to lose soon because I didn't have many upgrades. Have a lot of stuff on bench, it doesn't really mean much. I'm just trying to make a decision. When do I put in the Draven? Am I going to commit to Draven? Is it possible? I'm hovering over Ashe here, wondering, what do I do? Do I sell this? Am I out? I can already tell you, like, I'm out. I'm definitely out. We sell it instantly. Cool. We're putting it in. We don't have to put in Draven now. It's going to be put in soon, though. And so if you do put in Draven, like, you pretty much you'll run Draven with, like, you can run 6 Knight Draven, you can run 4 Knight with 3 Blade Master. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna run this Draven composition because this is definitely gonna be a more unique one than I'm used to. I've seen like 4 Demon a Draven before, and I don't know what's gonna go on. And realize I got gold here, and I'm pissed. I'm upset by getting gold. Of course I get another Ashe here, but we're pushing in for levels. And right now we're just holding force because we want Draven. We want Draven really bad. We found one, okay. And as soon as I get the second Draven, like I kind of think everything's gonna go exactly how I planned. Do you see the 2 Lucians? And right here on the 2 Lucians, I was gonna originally put in items on Draven here, 100%. And I decided we're gonna wait because we don't have a Draven 2 yet. We have the RFC for Draven. Optimal Draven items are actually RFC plus like BT plus like Dragon's Claw maybe, or RFC BT Rageblade, or RFC double double Hurricane is actually probably super optimal, but really unlikely. But once I get the Lucian 2, already Lucian's been doing so much for me in the past. I decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Lucian 2 for a little bit longer before putting in like a kind of an undeveloped 4 cost. This happens a lot where you'll have like a Jinx 1 and you'll have a Triss 2, and you'll think to yourself, well, we found the Triss, baby, let's put it all on the Jinx. And you do that and you're just like, man, this unit sucks. So Draven really gets big around the when he has synergies, right? When he has the Blade Master, when he has the Imperial up. And in this situation, there's only 1 Imperial on the board, right? You really don't want to put in Draven too soon. And so getting the Lucian 2 here just means I can secure a little bit more. I'm looking around for more Dravens. You see I moused over to Draven right there. There's actually no one going Dravens. I'm feeling very, very comfortable on the roll. And you see this guy going Nobles, by the way. That guy has a Swain. I'm not sure what kind of Draven orientation I'm going to go. But definitely in this situation, like... I told you I was committed before. I was committed out of Rangers, but right here I'm committing on to Draven, and the reason is because RFC is pretty much a commitment for me that I'm going to go Draven. RFC is a pretty important item, really, really important item for Draven, so that he doesn't move from corners, and he is able to chain catch his axe and not lose DPS. And so yeah, it's super, super important. And I decided as soon as I build the RFC here, we're gonna sell him at some point in the future for it. But because like we're doing so well, we're so healthy, I can already see this is a game we're gonna go to 8. I found the Lucian, and immediately the first thing I think to myself is, I don't think I'm gonna go 6 Blade Masters. I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't think I need to roll anymore. I think I found a good composition with putting in the Leone in early for 3 Nobles to where I don't need to really roll anymore. I'm very confident, or I'm pretty confident that like we're strong enough with these items on Lucian to be able to kind of ride a small wave through stage 4-3 to be able to go to stage 5. Now we may take some damage here and there, definitely, but I think I'm comfortable enough to go to 8 to try to push for the win. Because at this point, right now, I'm not really debating like, can I win this game? I'm more debating like, can I sorry, I'm not debating if I can top 4, I'm debating if I can win, and I think I can. Ooh, look at that dodge, sexy. These Ashe items are almost optimal. See how fast she auto attack? That's like a 4.0 attack speed Ashe right there. I saw the Shen to be able to make interest, and right now we're just looking for Draven items. Because right now, what do we have for Draven? Right, we have a Shiv and an RFC, but we have nothing else. I don't necessarily know if I want a defensive item, an offensive item. I don't know what I'm going to be able to get because I'm still first place at 74 health. I decided in this situation, actually, Spat gives me a lot of interesting options. The stuff I can do with Spat, I can get 6 Knights, which is something that's good, somewhat good mid-game transition for Draven. 6 Knights, pretty solid. I can get maybe another Demon on a Blade Master, but realistically speaking, I'm just looking for another Blade Master or Hurricane. So those are the things I'm really looking for. And we're just gonna leave the spat up there. We're so healthy that we can take a dead item for a couple rounds and wait till 5-4 to see what happens. In this situation, I take out Nobles for Aatrox. I don't even know if this is good. I actually think maybe the Noble buff is good enough to where, like, if I RNG right, like, Nobles may be worth more than the Leona. But in my late game comp, I don't really see a world where I pick Leona. I had the Sedge here that should have been put in instead of the Poppy. So that was my bad. And here Poppy hit a great ulti on me, which really sucks. And then Leona hits a great ulti. And then I'm not really allowed to move because Leona's crazy. But look at how much damage and how good Shiv Lucian 2 is doing for me. Shiv Lucian is actually absurd right now. So definitely something I'm very much interested in. Unfortunately, wasn't able to win this. But I took a very small loss. And I don't really care. I didn't break a loss streak on that. I'm just chilling right now. And so in this situation, I just think to myself, okay, well, are we going to go... We have 5 knights here. I kind of want to go 6 knights and try it out maybe. 6 knights, Draven, definitely a possibility. That's a really strong front line, and then you have a Draven. But the only way you can pull this off is if your Draven is enormous, like really fucking big. You have to be super careful about it. We're looking here to count like Sedges and see how many Sedges are going around. Sedges is an amazing tank right now. A lot of top tier compositions are using Sedge, especially all the Ranger comps are using Sedge because of the Glacial. And so you have to be really careful. In this situation, I'm holding too many Blade Masters. Like, there's pretty much no world I'm going to be using Fiora. I'm hoping over it to sell in case I don't win. But like, yeah, there's really not much of a world where I'm going to go ahead and use Fiora here. And here you'll see a very standard composition where it's like Assassin stacking Gunblade and GA on Evelynn with Dragon's Claw, and then you see a Swain. This is a very meta 4 demon composition where it'll be pretty annoying to play against, where Eve kills your backline and then your front line takes a lot of magic damage from the other demons. I think from this point, there's pretty much no position where I end up going anything that's not like 3 Blade Masters, 2 Imperial at the very least. I don't think 6 Knights is a great in-game composition. It can hold me for maybe half a stage or full stage, but I'm really looking forward to maybe finding 4 Imperial. I'm looking forward to finding maybe things like definitely 3 Blade Masters. Like 3 Blade Masters is core. We have the Aatrox in. Maybe we're going 4 Imperial, 3 Blade Master plus 2 Knights is something that I'm kind of looking forward to. We can also maybe go 4 Knights, no problem. We have kind of a luxury, quite a luxury, and we tanked a lot of health to be able to get to this point. Remember, our spatula is here, and we have a lot of items here now. What can we actually make from this? And I looked at this and I was like, we found our 3rd Draven item. I found the Hurricane. Hurricane slapper. What a slapper on Dravens. Oh, and we found 2 Dravens here. As soon as this happens, just throw it in. Found the Swain. Found the Poppy. And I found Swain as well as Cat very soon as well. So we end up getting the Draven. I corner him because he has RFC, and right now, realistically speaking, no one's running Blitzcrank anymore. Most of the compositions don't run Brawlers, especially most of them don't run Blitzes. So I'm pretty confident with everything that ends up happening here. We end up with 2 items left, a full Redemption. Honestly, I'm not really happy for Redemption right now. I don't know where it's going to go. I put the Ionic on Kindred, but Kindred is going to leave us very quickly. So I just wanted to position ourselves to get a good Draven angle, and we sell everything else, and we have 4 Imperials, and in my head, I have 5 Knights, Phantom, 2 Imperial. How do we make this better? And last round, I actually forgot. Why do I have Garen in here, right? We don't have 6 Knights. 4 Knights is the comp. We need to put Draven, a Blade Master in for Draven, because we have 2 already. It completely slipped my mind here. You guys see 2 Dravens. Honestly, I got an Akali 3 game recently, and so I think to myself, oh, well, you know, this is it. But then we see the double Sedge here, and I'm really happy. Sedge, all-star unit, extremely good. Putting Morellos on Sedge is really common. And I'm just rolling to try to find upgrades. I ended up selling the Katarina. I'm not really sure exactly how many Imperials I'm going to put in, but at the very least, personally speaking, I don't like putting in 4 Imperials unless I have an ultra stack Imperial squad, or like I have like good Swain items as well. Currently, I only really have items onto Draven, and right now like I'm gonna lose this fight. And the reason I lose is because I forgot to put in Blade Master, so I'm an idiot. We sell Cat to buy Kindred here. That's actually a mistake. There's realistically no world where I end up using Kindred. And as soon as I find this Yasuo, I think to myself, great. We found the ultimate late game scaling Blade Master, and I'm good to go. We're just trying to find a way to our Draven doesn't leave the corner. I'm not worried for any blitzes right now, although I should have looked around for them more. When I looked around before, I didn't notice any blitzes. I'm not worried about assassins. I'm in really good spot. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my items currently. But ideally, what ends up happening for positioning wise is you want to position. Okay, first of all, Giant Spell's really good on Yasuo because he gets double effectiveness. His passive doubles the shield that the health he gets as an additional shield. So putting any Giant Spell items on Yasuo, good. Yasuo's fucking fantastic, amazing Blade Master, one of the best units in the game. But you want to position your Draven back directly across away from everything else, especially with RFC. You want to force people to cut across the map to deal with Draven. So this is a perfect angle for Draven to hit. Like, they can't touch Draven. He's at the completely opposite side, and he's just chunking people left and right with his damage. Unfortunately, Anivia is really good against people who stack in the corner. But regardless, you know, I've taken some damage, but I'm feeling pretty good anyways. Like, there's no problem or worry about my current situation. Over here, we see Sword of the Divine, which I'm like, okay, that's not bad. But remember, I have a Warmogs and a Tier. So I keep thinking to myself, like, do I make Hush? Do I make Morellos? What is my best option? I kind of like the Pantheon right now. Let's keep it going. And we decide to make a Spatula, actually. Because someone took the Morellos. I couldn't get it. But the Spatulas is what we get. And the reason why we get this is because Demon is super, super good. Now, as a reminder, remember that Yasuo has really small mana pool. Anything that lets him cast or gain mana quickly, like Seraphs or Demon, is really, really powerful on him. Additionally, I have an Aatrox. I don't have a Swain in. So I think to myself in this situation, you know what? Making a Demon Yasuo is pretty much optimal for this situation. I'm able to get 2 strong Blade Masters, the Demon buff. And I'm thinking we're good to go. Right now, I keep thinking to myself, like, what are the chances that I end up actually putting in 6 Knights? 6 Knights isn't great late game. We're approaching stage 6. Like, I was happy to put in stage 4 and 6 Knights, but like at this point, you have to be pretty careful, in my opinion. And I'm at the point where I really like, if I found the Kale, like, I don't think I'd put in 6 Knights because my Draven is just so stacked right now. At some point, you have to think to yourself, am I pushing 9? In this situation, what do I want here? Like, this is a good example. Like, what are your possible upgrades here? The Kindred's probably going to leave pretty soon. Honestly, I don't really think I'm going to put in 4 Knights either. Like, it looks to me like we're selling the Garen soon, and we're probably going to put in 4 Imperials, right? We put in the Cow, we put in the Swain, so then your Imperials are pretty decked. So to put in those 2, we have to take out 2 Knights, right? We have the OP Knight, like the Sedge, you know, and taking out these 3 gives us an extra option to put in something else. Now, what do we put in for the actual last unit? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like what goes into that unit slot, and I realized with the Yasuo demon, we actually have 3 demons. So I kind of want to put in a 4th demon, something that would help out, you know. And here we're doing work. Unfortunately, I don't think to myself about the 4 demons until a little bit later, but it's something that I'm actively thinking about as we end up playing. So I have to get out Kindred soon. I'm just kind of figuring out like how do I end up doing that. So for visual clarity, what is going to happen in this game? We're going to go ahead and sell these 2 units, these 3 units. We put in these 3 units or these 2 units, and then we put in a demon. That gives us 4 demons and 4 Imperials and 3 Blade Masters. That's excellent. Now No. Let's say I didn't have this Demon Spat, okay? What do you put in instead? Well, an extra naked Yasuo would be great. Notice I don't have a Morelos, so Pantheon always good in comps if you don't have a Morelos, because he's a good frontliner and he applies the whatchamacallit, Morelos debuff on people. You just want a naked strong unit, which could be pretty much anything. You could just even leave the Poppy if you desired. But I do have the Demon Spatula, so I'm able to do a little bit more on it. Right here, I end up just selling the Kindred, and I'm just like, you know what, we're just gonna put everything in. In this situation, I probably should just taken out the Mordekaiser and sold it. I missed 1 gold of Econ not doing this. But it's not a big deal. I want to put Ionic on things that live a long time. And I'm hesitating myself, or I'm hesitant to put it onto the Swain, because there are much better Swain items. However, I think to myself, like, there's probably not that much I can do here. Well, right here, we decide not to push to 9. Pushing to 9 would have also been somewhat reasonable, but for me, I'm looking for cats, I'm looking for another demon as well. And this is where I kind of figured out, okay, I need the other demon. And once I find it, we're all good, right? Now the question is, who gets Ionic on this composition? And who gets the Zeeks? And I decided to double put it on Swain. We're at 6-1 right now. We can get 1 more item here, 1 more item here, 1 fully completed item more than likely if we're low. And if not, we can finish this off. Nothing, however, that would go on Swain. So right here, you just want to have a unit. The thing about Zeeks and Ionic is it gives you defensive stats. Zeeks give you 200 health, and Ionic gives you AP plus MR. And so what ends up happening is, like, it ends up being an okay average item. And unfortunately, whoops. My brand is in a terrible spot. My brand should be backline. And I realized, like, okay, well, crap. Like, I should probably go ahead and sell Aatrox's. I only think I 3-star a 3-cost minion is if I end up stacking him with items, or stacking it with items. So we're going to go ahead and look for upgrades here rather than rolling upwards. I do think, however, that there is a good argument to not roll. I definitely think that you can make an argument like rolling is a little bit kind of meh, and leveling would have secured you something more consistent. Potentially, I would have gone 6 knights from the level. Definitely something instead of going 4 Imperial, something that is for sure a possibility, and something you want to kind of balance and think about while you're doing this. Like, it worked. Right now, like, I would say, like, my rolls have been okay, but potentially it could be a lot worse. Also, remember the way Pantheon ulti works is the ulti is the unit farthest away, and so it ended up being like somewhat of a disaster for me that my Draven was the farthest away unit. I need to be really careful because I'm actually falling really low on life. We have a couple upgrades. Like, I'm kind of going for Darius 3. I don't mind going for 3-star 1-cost units because it only costs additional 6 gold, which over time is pretty much nothing. It's just harder to find as you go up, right? From this position, I'm not sure. I can't go to 9. There's no way. Like, that ship has sailed. So I'm just looking for upgrades. And notice at any point here, I'm pretty much okay with tossing the whatchamacallit, Darius's. Like, let's say on this roll I found the brand. Okay, this Darius is gone. Like, I wanted the immediate upgrades more. I think the likeliness of me finding like a Darius, even 2 more Dariuses, a Darius 3, kind of low and not something that I really care about. We just make sure everyone's in the Zeke's aura. This is in the bottom right, and I'm feeling still okay. It sucks that I don't have any kind of magic resistance. Or Dragon's Claw or Sustain, but on my Draven. But do remember, Hurricane gives you double MR worth of magic resistance. It's something that you think wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it is 40 magic resistance, and it does matter, especially against stuff against Evelynn. You should think of it as like a shitty Dragon's Claw. Like, he's got a shitty Dragon's Claw, but it lets him do a lot of damage. So we enter top 3 with this composition, and we're kind of looking for stuff like Yasuo. We're looking for full completed items. And I see the Swain here, and I think to myself, like, that looks like a great item, sure. But remember, Yasuo also has a Giant's Belt. So what else could have been good here? Morelos could have been good. Glacial Spatula could have been good. I decide to go the BT because I think the full item power is quite high. But it's definitely something that like I would say is relatively. I do this mainly because I'm opening up the option to go to hit a Swain 3. And I think the Swain 3 in the next 2 rounds is going to be a higher chance of me just straight winning the game with the Swain 3, regardless if it has a BT on it. Because this is super unoptimal, right? I'd want this on my Yasuo, but, you know, it just depends what I find. And so right here, actually, we find a Yasuo, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're selling Swain. As soon as we find a Yasuo, okay, the Yasuo 2, and we already have one, Yasuo 2 is, like, in my opinion, what's going to help us carry the game. And I'm feeling really good. And unfortunately, in this situation, Rebel Lucifer hit, you know, his stuff. I decided to switch sides here, mainly because I was worried about what happened stacking the other side. Yeah, this guy's got insane items. Pantheon stun. Oh my god. I'm so lucky for winning this. These are such close fights. When you're looking around positioning wise, in the top 3, top 4 positioning wise, you have to be able to correctly identify like what is good, what is not good about your composition. Like what do you need to do in your composition? So for me, I'm looking around. I remember I went to Draven farthest away from everything. So that's all I care about. Additionally, I want to make sure my Yasuo doesn't tank. My Sedge should tank the initial damage to ulti quick. My Yasuo should come in from the side. He can. Okay, in MMOs it's called off tanking. He takes a little bit of damage. You don't want him to take the full thing. So usually that means you put him like kind of on the side, either here or here. In this situation, he tanks more damage, a little bit more damage I'm happy with, but it's okay. The Varus and the Ashe are hitting it, so I'm very happy about that situation. And over here, we got Leona stun on our carry. By the way, that unit is insane. And I'm not on the right side for this situation, and that's why we lose. My positioning mistake, regardless of the Leona, I only gave them an option, or I only gave him an option to beat me by positioning my Draven that way. This man has to position so differently. Like he has to move 4 or 5 units on his backline to reposition. For me, I moved 2. I just switched the cat and the Draven. Boom! I'm moved. It's over. So yeah, I just messed up there, and it's something you want to keep in mind in compositions like these. You don't. So Yasuo doesn't tank fully because he's actually a large part of your DPS, and you want him to come in at angles where his Nado can hit everyone. That's why you usually put Yasuo on the sides. Similar to Vi, where like Yasuo get this huge Nado that it can apply on hit effects, whether it's healing or something else. I'm looking around to see what people get. They got this arm. They got some good stuff. I got Sorcerer, which I honestly like. You want to. This is double mana gain, so you debate like, what do you put this on? And I don't know. So in this situation, I just think to myself, okay, we put it on the Sedge because I think him going off is more important to my comp than anything else. If I had a Swain too, there could be an argument I should put on my Swain, and I don't think it's ever an argument if I put it on my cat. I don't super care about cat, even though I don't really have a healing debuff. Over here, okay, when you get to top 3, it's super weird because you can hit Ghost and you can hit the same person again because the algorithm isn't like good yet. But the only thing I care about, remember, look, okay, first of all, look at that sick Nado. Secondly, look at where my positioning is relative to them. For this Vayne to hit me, she has to walk all the way over here to auto attack me. I'm in the best position to be able to capitalize on this. So even if they kill the rest of my composition, like, I can win regardless. Both of these players I'm somewhat scared of. This guy has really, really good Eve and Swain items, and luckily, like, he died. And so for me, I'm thinking to myself, like, I had more trouble with the Swain player, and the Swain player now, my Swains are on the table, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm gonna look for Swains. But remember, in the end, like, me finding a Swain too is pretty unrealistic. All I'm looking to do is just make sure my Draven is away from his comp. So I'm looking like, is he gonna start swapping? Oh, he started swapping. Okay, it's over. So he fully swapped, and I'm in a great position, I think. So he moved his Leona over last minute, but that doesn't really matter for me. I'm still far enough away, and you see, as soon as I see this Leona here, it's over. My positioning is so good that there's no way I should lose this. This Yasuo comes out excellent, and pristine win. I will say, in hindsight, looking at this game, what did we end up doing? Initially we had items to go Rangers, right? Couldn't find any Rangers, had to improvise. Went Dravens after looking around to see if I could find a lot of Dravens. I'm not sure what ends up happening. I'm not sure in this situation whether there was something better, but I took the best kind of prerogative I could with the items I had. Usually with Draven, like when you find an RFC, there's a couple certain things like assassins or Dravens that you look toward building your RFC. This is a good example of not only that I switched to Draven, I also had a potential to go a different frontline as well. And I had another potential to push 9 at a certain level. Of course, all this is because I had the luxury of winning a lot early because I had good items. If you did, like, that's the importance of combining items early. Combining items early, sure, you may make unoptimal items in the late game, but it gives you a lot of choices to be able to pivot well from. So this is a game as a good example. Like, I was at the top, I was able to pivot 2 or 3 different times to find 2 or 3 or 4 different team comps to work with, and eventually settle on an Imperial Draven comp with from a 5 knight position. Something that you wouldn't be able to do from last place, especially if you end up saving your items. So a lot of situations, I would say, especially if the items are flexible, just use your items and you can make the best of what you got. Especially this game at being a good example. Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of losing my mind right now. It's really late. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. I'll see you guys later.